Everyone, take a look. This is a 64 gigabytes domestic iPhone 8 Plus. I don't know how many of you in front of the screen are still using this phone. I hope you'll tell me in the comments. From its appearance, this phone has no major dents or scratches, which shows that this fan really treasures their phone. We'll first connect the phone directly to the computer, click Trust, and enter the lock screen password. Because expanding the iPhone 8 Plus is different from current phones, it requires writing underlying data. Before expansion, we can write the underlying data directly into the new hard drive. First, read the phone's hard drive underlying data, then write it into the new hard drive, and perform Wi-Fi unbinding. I don't know if everyone has noticed, especially with older models, the iPhone 8, 6, 7, and 8 generations, their batteries can last many years, but with today's new models, the batteries hardly last more than 2 years. Today, we open up this phone to see if its battery has ever been replaced. After heating the phone, we use a screen opener to create a gap, then use a thin disassembly tool to slide around the screen to open it. Upon opening the screen, after observing, it's confirmed that the phone has never been opened for repair before. So, if this phone was purchased when it first came out, it has now been 6 years, its battery efficiency is still at 80%. We continue to disassemble, first removing all the connectors on the screen, then removing the screen. Upon observing, the screen has also never been repaired. It's all original. The iPhone 8 Plus's motherboard is still a 7-layer structure. Here is the rear camera, then the comparatively large battery and vibrator, the speaker, and the tail plug. We first need to remove the motherboard. This black cover is the Wi-Fi and GPS antenna. A common issue with the iPhone 8 Plus is, when dropped, this area is very prone to breakage, causing weak Wi-Fi and GPS signals. Next is the volume and power button connector interface. We disconnect it. Then it's the rear camera interface. The rear camera has 2 connectors. Here, there's a hidden screw. Next, we disconnect the tail plug, the lower antenna, and the wireless charging connector. Unscrew several large screws fixing the motherboard. Remove the external card slot. Then we can remove the motherboard. We observe the front and back of the motherboard. Both have never been repaired, but some batches of the iPhone 8 Plus motherboards cannot be expanded, namely those labeled H3K5, but this one is UMT, which has no issues. We protect the surroundings of the hard drive, then place the motherboard in a fixed clamp. First, we preheat the hard drive and motherboard and treat the edges of the hard drive. Apply a small amount of flux and heat. Remove the original 64 gigabytes hard drive. Although it's a single-layer motherboard, we still use the method of preserving the board base, not the hard drive. Remove it, then apply flux to treat the solder pads. Use solder wick to flatten the solder points. Some people quietly watch the video, but will quietly like, comment, share, and follow. Such people are really adorable. Then scrape off the black adhesive under the hard drive, and finally clean the solder pads. After treatment, we implant new solder balls into the newly replaced hard drive, apply solder paste, then clean it off, and then melt each solder point. Finally, inspect each solder point. If they are full and flat, that's very okay. At this point, we can install the new hard drive. We apply a small amount of flux to the solder pads, install the hard drive, then heat it. Heat until touching the hard drive feels springy, indicating installation is complete. We clean it up. Use a cooling fan to cool down the motherboard. After removing the motherboard, tear off the protective stickers on both sides, since the fan also wants to replace the battery. We remove the original battery. Let's look at the battery. Its capacity is 2,691 milliamp hours. The back is crinkled, unclear. 20 is from the year 2010. We'll temporarily count it as 2018. I believe those in front of the screen who have used old Apple models, like Big Brother, all feel that the batteries of old models are really much more durable than those of current models. Do you think it's a battery craftsmanship issue, or is it the current system version and phone functions, or a power consumption issue that causes this phenomenon? We separately reassembled the motherboard and all the connectors, then the iPhone 8 Plus. It is not encrypted, so we choose to replace it with a third-party battery, then clean the adhesive around the case. Apply a new waterproof adhesive. After applying, clean the back of the screen of any remaining adhesive and dust, then install the screen, attach the fingerprint display, touch, and sensor, and the earpiece connector. The last step is to attach the battery, then perform a dust cleaning again. Afterward, install the screen, then screw in the 2 screws at the back. Because we replaced the storage chip and hard drive, we need to flash the phone, connect to the computer. It is in DFU recovery mode. Since the iPhone 8 Plus has given up on the latest iOS updates, it means it cannot be flashed to the current System 17. After successful flashing, the phone restarts and comes to the activation screen. We use software tools to directly activate it. At this time, the phone will come to the desktop. Let's take a look, first at the battery efficiency. Seeing the battery efficiency has recovered to 100%, no pop-up because the iPhone 8 Plus battery is not encrypted, And about this device, we successfully expanded from 64 gigabytes to 256 gigabytes. Its maximum is also 256 gigabytes. And its latest system is 16.78. Finally, we need to test all functions again. Okay, all functions are normal. Let us once again appreciate the classic gold iPhone 8 Plus.